it's become very clear to me that the three main pillars of anti-Semitism and the way it manifests is it targets the people, our identity, our religion and our practices, and our homeland. And it doesn't matter which of the three, they're all anti-Semitism. And anti-Zionism, I'm putting this in air quotes for all you people not watching, because I believe that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. To me, they're one and the same. Is not something new. This is something that goes all the way back to biblical times. These ancient tribes, the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Philistines, they never wanted us to have the land of Israel. So this is something that has been going on since God gave us the land of Israel. So,
because what I came to realize, even before we went into Gaza, what I came to realize is that the word Zionist can be replaced with Jew by pretty much every single organization I have seen use that term in this context. And when they say, and I'm using they, whoever the they is, when they say, we don't want Zionists here, I no longer am pretending that means anything but, we don't want Jews here.
My name is Eden Yadigar, and I am a junior at Columbia University, double majoring in Middle East Studies and Jewish Studies. I am 20 years old and the daughter of American immigrants who fled Iran 45 years ago to escape the life-threatening anti-Semitism that infected their country. I am grateful to be a student at Columbia, but I am horrified that the same Jew hate that drove my family to the US has become normalized here. It is pervasive in classrooms, across campus, in student groups, and online. It has even stained our hub of Jewish life, Columbia Barnard Hillel, with, quote, "Long live the Palestinian armed struggle," and shouts of Free Palestine. This semester, I am unable to complete my Middle East Studies major, as intended, because the only course offered about Israel is taught by the professor who referred to the massacre and rape of innocent people, of young women just like me, as stunning, astonishing, awesome, jubilant achievement. We are ostracized, mocked, harassed, assaulted, and scapegoated because of our identities. The Jews yelled at visibly Jewish friends of mine on multiple separate occasions. Online, Columbia students suggested labeling local shops that support Israel's right to exist, quote, with a Star of David. Is this 1938 or 2024? A law professor recently advocated for the removal of Israeli students from campus. Another professor claimed to be with Hamas days before Columbia extended him a, quote, warm welcome in January. We have been attacked with sticks outside of our library. We have been surrounded by angry mobs, and we have been threatened to, quote, keep running. How many more times must it be proven that unreprimanded, violent rhetoric can lead to physical violence? I am mocked as I walk through my campus and mocked on social media. A classmate publicly commented on a post of me, seeking to denigrate me for speaking about the tensions on campus. Well, I have a message for anyone who would seek to silence us. We are not Jews with trembling knees. We are proud Jews who carry with us the tradition of resilience in the face of persecution, and we will not be silenced. I came to Columbia to learn from those with experiences and opinions vastly different from my own. I came to Columbia hoping to pursue the American dream in the same way that my parents did when moving here from Iran. Instead, that dream has turned into a nightmare.
Kristallnacht began with the acceptance, the normalization, and the celebration of Jew hatred. Members of this committee, I appear before you with an urgent warning. The treatment of Jewish Americans on college campuses across this country, and in particular at Harvard University, is nothing short of a national emergency. It is blatantly anti-Semitic, it is frighteningly discriminatory, and it is deeply un-American. I say these words out of 2 years of personal experience with a pervasive bigotry towards Jews and a stunning lack of moral clarity. I'd like to walk you through the last 3 weeks at Harvard to prove my point. On the first day of Passover, hundreds of Harvard students and faculty members set up encampments in Harvard Yard in direct violation of Harvard policies, demanding that Harvard divest all monies from the Jewish state. The protesters cheered thunderously when they replaced the American flag overlooking Harvard with that of Palestine. They screamed about globalizing the Intifada, drew pictures of our Jewish university president with horns and a tail, and screamed at all hours of the day that, quote, Palestine will be Arab. Perhaps most concerning, the protesters established their own rule of law on campus, creating self-appointed safety marshals to patrol the campus. These safety marshals follow Jews, like me, on our way to class, monitoring our every move. They often recorded us and demanded that we leave their encampment as if we did not have a right to exist at Harvard. But they did nothing when their encampment participants physically threatened Harvard community members. This campaign was designed for one reason and one reason only: to intimidate, to harass, and to bully Jewish students at Harvard University. In fact, although President Alan Garber himself admitted that these students threatened both students and employees, the encampment was allowed to continue uninterrupted for nearly 3 weeks. While the encampment finally ended yesterday, if you would like to see Harvard's anti-Semitism in real time, look no further than the fact that Harvard has agreed with almost all of the encampment leaders' demands. In exchange for leaving, the anti-Semites will face 0 consequences. They will get to meet with the university to discuss a Palestinian studies department. They will meet with the corporation to discuss divesting from the Jewish state. And not once has Harvard publicly condemned the objective anti-Semitism that we Jewish students have faced as a result. Not once has Harvard's anti-Semitism task force said anything. More importantly, not once have they done anything to combat anti-Semitism at Harvard. The encampment espoused near daily anti-Semitism, harassed and followed Jews, called for the violent destruction of the Jewish state, all in direct violation of school policy. As a result, they will all be rewarded. Only those, I am a Jewish student and have thus far been unable to meet with President Alan Garber or my dean Marla Frederick or to discuss the pervasive anti-Semitism on campus. Only those who call for the ethnic genocide of Jews, violate school policy, and send masked thugs to follow Jews are given the honor of having a seat at the table. That is the reality of being a Jew at Harvard in 2024. While the anti-Semitic encampment was ongoing, a few brave patriots and I decided to plant 1,200 Israeli and American flags in memory of the 1,200 Muslim, Jews, and Christians slaughtered by October 7th. Harvard responded by calling the police on me. Harvard did not deem chanting violent destruction of the Jewish state actionable, but planting American flags were. Tellingly, within 24 hours of our installation being set up, the American flags, Israeli flags, and hostage posters were all vandalized. To this day, Harvard has yet to acknowledge, let alone condemn, this act of hatred. I will close by saying that Harvard students have called Jews bloodthirsty vipers. A professor has publicly stated that, quote, Zionists do not belong in public health. Class instructors have canceled classes to encourage students to participate in anti-Israel demonstrations. And a staff at Harvard threatened me with a machete. To this day, Harvard has yet acknowledged to me what they will do to protect me, what they have done to discipline this staff member. I have seldom experienced such disdain, disregard, and contempt for a minority group than the way in which Harvard treats its Jews at Harvard.
Thank you, Mr. Kestenbaum.
Jewish students, faculty, and communities at these so-called elite institutions, including my alma mater, Harvard, Jewish students are facing sustained attacks from students and professors who are openly propagandizing terror. And why? Merely because these Jewish students exist. In response, campus leadership has cowered to the woke anti-Semitic mob. This fanaticism against Israel is rooted in ignorance and hatred. Our institutions of higher education are failing our next generation. They are failing Talia, Bella, Eyal, Jonathan, and countless other students. The attacks on October 7th shocked the conscience of the world, marking the deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. However, these atrocities were met with callous cruelty at universities across America. At Harvard, 30 radical student organizations disgustingly blamed Israel for the barbaric attacks against innocent Israelis, only for the group's actions to be brazenly defended by Harvard President Claudine Gay as, quote, free expression.